Dirty Sports, episode 851. We're officially live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Southern California, Joey No Chill Praino.
Good morning, Andrew T. Ruther.
Good morning, man.
How's it going out there?
It's good. It's good. It's the heat wave is here. I'm sure you've seen some things about a lot of the country.
I haven't.
You haven't?
It's been hot here, but no, I did not.
I
did
saw
not notice
100 million Americans are affected.
Wow.
So it's kind of like Midwest, East Coast is just all.
Now, would you say you're affected? Were you affected by the heat?
Dude, it sucks. Like, it's the humidity. You know how it is. It's that humidity where I made the comment yesterday, and definitely not the right audience. Because I help. I volunteer at this place on a Wednesday, this charity, and it's older white men. And I made the comment. It was because we have to work outside, and you're just sweating your nuts off. Like, I mean, where your whole body is just covered. And I said, well, guys, when I looked at today's weather, it just said AIDS. And no one even laughed. No one even smiled. I guess white dudes in their 70s don't find the AIDS jokes funny.
Yeah, that's this is remarkably similar to my brother John. John literally just got kicked out of a bar in Venice for making a school shooting joke, and he was like, "It was funny," and I was like, listen. I was like, I do this professionally. I don't know. I don't think school shooting jokes just randomly in bars. Like, yeah, I mean, it's the 7-year-old guy thing, but also AIDS. You just went AIDS. Yeah. I'm not sure a 30-year-old guy would have been like, yeah, AIDS. You're very niche market about like a 6-year window of people who are like pre-woke youth and post like older man who's just like AIDS isn't funny because they lived through the AIDS epidemic.
Well, for me, anything that's just like awful, I just say AIDS.
Yeah,
like AIDS. It's this is nothing new. I mean,
and no one talks. I mean, that's the thing. It's like it's not even topical anymore because like you can live a full life with AIDS, as I say all the time now.
Yeah, no one talks about it. But you're right. So maybe I need to update that. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you do.
Maybe when I'm having.
Don't update it with school shooter. By the way, John is proof of that.
I need to know, since you said Venice, which bar?
Well, he was at the bar at Scopa.
Okay, and what was his joke? Do you want to say it or not?
Well, yeah, he said they were talking about drinking, and he was like saying, he's like, drinking is the best. You drink when you're happy and it makes you happier, and you drink when you're sad and it makes you happier. It's like no matter what your mood. And apparently somebody at the bar was like, sounds like you drink to cope. And he's like, better than going and shooting up a school.
Wow, that's pretty. Yeah, that's like a out of left field kind of joke.
Yeah, and I was like, and he's like, it's funny. I go, no, it's not. Like, doesn't even make any sense, dude. I go, does anybody cope by shooting up? He's like, well, I just figure like you could always say it's better than shooting up a school. I was like, well, you can't because. And the bartender was like, that's it. You're out of here.
So you got kicked out for that.
Yeah, I'm certain, Andy.
There had to be other stuff going on.
I'm certain that this was the cherry on the fucking sundae, that he had been making John jokes the whole time. But I was like, how many bars have you been kicked out of now for quote unquote jokes? He's like, I don't know, like 4 or 5.
No way. More than that.
I mean, in LA, in Venice,
okay.
In Venice Marina, he was kicked out. He's banned from the Chart House, which I think is now closed. He's Scopa. I think he was kicked out of the Whaler at one point.
The Whaler?
Maybe the Whaler or something down. I know he was kicked out of something down there.
You got kicked out of the Whaler. Like those other places are nice places. I can see him getting kicked out. But like the Whaler, I mean, I've been there many a times, just like you. I've seen some of the people walk in the Whaler.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're going to tell me he got kicked out of Hanano or something.
No, I don't think he's been kicked out of Hanano. Hanano seems like his vibe. You walk in there, you're like, it's hot as AIDS outside. Everybody's like, Andy! You want a burger?
I wonder with inflation, is Hanano still selling that $5 turkey burger with chips?
I don't know. I haven't been in a little while. I want to say it was $6.
Was it $6? I mean, it was still cheap.
Yeah. It wasn't a $9 hamburger, that's for sure.
No, it was a nice little go-to, especially late night.
Yeah. I love the Hanano burger.
That was a good spot, man.
Yeah.
That was one of those spots where back in my drinking days, that's a good spot to get like a nice cold pitcher of beer.
Shoot some pool, drink some beer, have a burger, play the jukebox, get a little free popcorn there. You got the surf band on the guys that you volunteer with in the surf band on Sundays.
Yeah.
They play like Dick Dale shit.
Go home with a girl that might give you some weird thing like scurvy. Like that's the type of place that like you're going to go home with a girl and you're like, dude, I got scurvy. You're like, what did you go home with a pirate? You're like, yeah, dude, I met her at Hanano. She gave me scurvy. What was scurvy, by the way? Was that just like you didn't get enough nutrients?
Yeah, something like, I think it's, yeah. There's not enough vitamins in your shit.
I can see Goldberg getting scurvy. Like,
sadly, I won't be able to make it to poker this week. I got scurvy.
Like, dude, he doesn't eat anything healthy.
Like, well, I'm pretty much just eating burgers and waffles these days. Oh, well, waffles are good. Well, no, Eggo frozen waffles. That guy's he's older than me. He's a mid 40-year-old man. He eats Eggo waffles regularly.
I remember.
He's gonna call the show immediately. He's gonna be in my. This is what Maddie does, by the way. He'll pretend like this never happened, and the next time I tweet anything about anything that he'll just come in, and then he'll admit like weeks later that it was all because I made fun of his Eggo waffles. Next time I post something, he'd be like, fuck you motherfucker. Brady's a fucking goat, you fucking hater. And I'll be like, what the fuck, dude? And then I'll be like, I'm sorry. 7 weeks ago on the podcast, you made fun of my Eggo eating. I was just holding on to it for a really long time. And actually, I did have scurvy when I was a teenager, so it hit a little close to home.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember he would talk about, I was asking him if he ate vegetables. And his line always be like, did the broccoli and the orange chicken count from a Chinese restaurant? You know how they give you like 3 tiny things of broccoli every Chinese restaurant when you get orange chicken? Which, by the way, no one ever talks about, for the record. Like,
no one ever talks about what?
The small proportion size of broccoli. When you get orange chicken, give some more broccoli.
You would think too that they would be like, oh, we'll be easy on the meat and we'll give you broccoli. That'll save us some money. And they're like, actually, when the meat is rat and the broccoli is real, it's cheaper for us to give you the meat.
I think you're right. Orange chicken. I mean, that's one of those. It's great. You're like, where is this coming from?
Oh, yeah.
Especially to a place like Mal's Kitchen in Venice. That, you know, that used to be the go-to.
I'm convinced Mao's Kitchen is just homeless people. They're just serving us dead homeless people.
Well, that fed me a lot of years.
I love Mao's was great. The scallion pancake.
No, you love that. That's right.
Peasant's onion pancake. Yeah. Bomb shit.
I used to like their what noodles did I always get? I'd get their not their chow mein. It'd be lo mein.
Yeah.
Lo mein with a bunch of beef. Everything there was good. I gave them a lot of money. Actually, if I looked at my time in Venice, Tokoya Organica really stepped up the ranks the last few years. But
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's like me right now being like, I mean, in the last few years, I've probably spent more money on Eagles jerseys than anything. Like, you tried to end their restaurant.
Because they didn't offer burritos when they first opened.
First of all, I still say that's incorrect.
It's
I
not
swear
incorrect.
The very first time I went, I had a burrito.
It's not incorrect.
And second of all, you literally doxed them. You were like an original dot. You were like it was like a Barstool campaign. You're like, go on their Yelp and say that they're cocksuckers. And you're like, what?
No,
like,
it worked.
Fucking burritos.
It worked because they started adding burritos, and then I became a patron. Although it's very Kobe Bryant-esque for me. Like I did a flip.
Yeah.
That's the MO. By the way, just bought Bengals season tickets. Speaking of that, I'm excited. Get Randy Ruther in town.
No, you did not.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Oh my God.
I did think of Randy when I saw the Bengals are going to change the name. They're one of 3 stadiums that do not have a corporate sponsor. So they're going to finally get some of that sponsorship money, which they should. You're going to owe Joe Burrow a lot of money.
Yeah.
So all the local Cincinnati restaurants will be fighting for that.
The Cat Cafe. What's the name of the Cat Cafe?
Perfect Cat Cafe.
Perfect stadium at Paul Brown Field or whatever they're fucking getting tried to.
Or the Bengals can call it, what is the witch store named?
Yeah.
Like, take your weird pick. But we got big news right before the show. Big NFL news. Kyler Murray signs an extension. Big extension. 5 years, $230 million, $160 million guaranteed at an average of $46.1 million. He's now the second highest paid quarterback.
Behind Deshaun Watson? I don't even know.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Man, these contracts are all just getting out of control. I mean, inflation, but also just sports kind of like the idea. These guys like across sports are getting $40+ million a year. It's insane.
You with the market said that though, especially with the TV deals.
I know, right? But it's just so crazy. There's no way to comprehend it. There's no way like, oh, what's, one day I want to be an athlete that makes $50 million a year. It's like guys turning down $400 million contracts. Like it's bananas. I mean, we're not that long ago where, you get $20-25 million a year was just like, wow. It's happened like very quickly.
Those are bargain deals now.
Yeah.
It's happened quickly, but again, the amount of money coming into these leagues is just so much from these TV contracts.
Yeah.
Which
this is the last year for DirecTV, right?
Correct. I think it's going to go Apple. I think a lot of the signs are.
That'd be fucking great because I'm already an Apple subscriber. Be nice to not have to subscribe. Although, let's be honest, wherever it goes, Mikey's going to subscribe and I'm going to take his password.
Yeah, seriously.
But I already have an Apple subscription, so
I don't really fully understand it because they still haven't figured out how to do ratings with all the streaming.
Yeah.
Which then affects ratings, which then affects. You would think it would affect the advertising revenue because if there's not as many viewers, because obviously there's so much competition right now for.
But again, this is the thing that all of the people that talk about all this shit all the time and get woke, go broke, ratings are down, lowest ratings in all-star game history, all this stuff. It all doesn't matter. It literally does not matter. All that matters, let's say Apple gets it. If Apple pays X amount and then they see X amount of people come over and pay however many dollars to subscribe to their service and it exceeds that, then they win.
Yeah.
And they don't care if all those people buy it and then 0 people watch it. They don't care. They literally don't give a single fuck.
I would like to see how they quantify it from return on investment.
That's the same thing with the NFL. The NFL doesn't care because the NFL is selling deals to ESPN selling deals to ABC, CBS, all these things. It's on the network then to sell their ads.
Sure.
To pay for it. The NFL doesn't give a shit.
And obviously they wouldn't give those large sums of money.
Right.
Yeah. But back to the quarterback money and Kyler Murray and all these guys, it's, you know, it is to the point. Who's going to be the first team or the first quarterback where they say, look, man, we're not doing this. So take Kyler Murray, for example. I like Kyler Murray. You like Kyler Murray. He's played 3 seasons, man. You know, it's like, where is his, I don't know, like to say he's worth that much on 3 seasons where he's played nice football. He's played really good football. He won Rookie of the Year. I'm just saying you're now leveraging all that money to him. And then again, before I even say, I'm going to cut myself off actually, because the salary cap isn't real. So I don't even know why I'm saying this. I actually take back. It's like the salary cap. If it's not real, the
salary cap isn't real because they give him $160 million up front. And now the rest of that gets spread out over his 5 years, and it's not a fucking cap hit number and blah, 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 blah. All this shit. But the bottom line is you've got, you know, in the league today, you either think you're going for it or you think this quarterback is the guy that's going to help you build around it, and you have to pay them. To me, it's really the question is going to be which team looks at themselves and is like, we're just not like, this isn't going to get it done. We can't build around this guy if we pay him all that money. I mean, that's where we're at. I mean, you're already kind of, I mean, I guess a little bit. I mean, you know, the Browns bailed on Baker and went and got Deshaun Watson. Now they paid him that money, but like, it's not that long ago where, I mean, Baker and fucking Kirk Cousins, like, it's not that long ago where, you know, the Browns don't want Baker and a team like the Vikings goes, we'll give you for $40 million. Hey, come here. Did you prove anything in Cleveland? No, but you should just come here and take $40 million. So we're already seeing Baker, instead of what the Vikings did and just backing up a Brinks truck to a mediocre quarterback, Baker went and got traded for a 5th round pick.
Well, let me ask this, because now everyone is saying, okay, he just got all this money. Next on the chopping block as far as contract would be Lamar Jackson. Now, Herbert and Joe Burrow have only played 2 years, so they got probably at least one more full year before they really start negotiating. What does Lamar won an MVP? So he's got that in his, like, he's got that as leverage when it comes to negotiating.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you this question.
Yeah.
And just answer it straight up. Who makes it to a Super Bowl if either does first? Lamar Jackson or Kyler Murray?
I don't have a lot of faith in either of them making it to a Super Bowl anytime soon.
Okay.
I think that the NFC West, I mean, the Rams obviously have to lose some players because of their money situation. But, you know, do I love the Cardinals' chances in a Niners, Rams, NFC West? I mean, obviously, we're going to have a Seattle rebuild. But do I love their chances? I think that, you know, last year they played really, really well for a while. And look what happened. I just don't, you know, I don't see them getting to a Super Bowl.
No, I don't either.
Anytime soon. I think the thing with the Ravens, and this goes back to kind of the same kind of thoughts that I always had about Russell Wilson, which is the Ravens team as a franchise and Harbaugh and just in general, when has their success been them throwing the ball 60 times a game, you know, putting up 40 points? Like, they had that season a couple of years ago. How did it work out for them? You know, as opposed to, hey, defensive coach, defensive minded. Like, if I'm going to spend the money on not surrounding this guy with weapons and not trying to make this offense go, but play defense, control the ball. And can you do that if you go hand Lamar Jackson $50 million? I think that's a totally different thing. And I was just talking about this with a Packers fan friend who, I was like, what's your feelings on, the Packers? And he's like, I just don't know. And I was like, to be totally honest with you, I like it. I like letting Davante Adams go when you have a quarterback that's as good as Aaron Rodgers. Don't spend the money. He's Aaron Rodgers. Let him turn a guy you've never heard of into 80% of Davante Adams's production for 5% of his money, and then get a defense that can stop people, get an offensive line that can protect him. When you have these quarterbacks, and then you've also got to surround them with weapons, then you're going to get into a situation, and you see it like in the Kansas City Tampa Super Bowl, where like suddenly Mahomes isn't protected.
Yeah.
Or they're not stopping anybody on defense. And if you have a great quarterback, I know, drink. Eli Manning mentioned drink, but go let him turn Victor Cruz into a fucking Pro Bowler.
I would not have given Kyler Murray this money. In the same token, I would not give Lamar Jackson this type of money. Those guys.
I think that you have two different situations. I think if you don't give Kyler Murray this money, what are you? Well,
but it's their style of play, though.
Yeah.
You say, what are you? But to me, it comes down to a game of chicken. And obviously you're negotiating. The chicken is, dude, you're still going to show up. Are you really going to pass up money?
They are. Of course they are. Juan Soto just turned down $440 million.
And I think it's a little different because Major League Baseball is guaranteed. And Juan Soto knows it's different in that regard. He knows a team out there will pay that much, if not more. He knows that.
We've seen these guys. I think the idea of a game of chicken. Yeah, you're going to I think the players will sit out now. I think the thing with the Cardinals is, if you look at the Cardinals' history, this is at least something. They're heading in some direction. They've gone all in on this quarterback. They've gone all in on this coach. They've gone all in on this style. This is an effort to be something, anything. So that's the justification, I think, if you're a Cardinal executive or if you're a Cardinal GM. This is, okay, this is who we are. For good or for bad, we're going to make it try to happen. If you're the Ravens, you can be a lot of things besides the Lamar Jackson show, in my opinion. When you look at John Harbaugh's history, when you look at the kind of defensive players they've put out there, when you look at the different styles, I mean, they won with Joe Flacco, running the ball, the occasional fucking bomb, playing defense. You don't need this. Ravens fans are going to show up to games no matter what. They're rabid fans.
True.
You have a personality. You don't need Lamar Jackson to get Ravens fans there. Ravens fans 3 years ago are wearing fake beards and showing up as Joe Flacco.
And a lot of Ravens fans aren't going to like to hear this, but I'm just going to say it. Joe Burrow is just so much better. He is. And I know people will say, well, Lamar won an MVP, and that's great. I just think, the stock right now, if you look at that division and how many times Burrow got hit last year and sacked and still put out the insane numbers, I just think, I don't know. I agree with you. I think you have to put money around him in a defense, in a run game, in protection. But they're going to pay him. I think you're right. I think they're going to pay him. And
see, the thing is, they probably will, because I think that's the league today. But listen, Harbaugh is, he went to Lamar Jackson and you remember the basic ass offense they were playing at first in the very first half season that obviously was a disaster come playoff time. Sure. But he's always been quick to be like, I'm going to make a move before. So, we'll see. We'll see what pressure Harbaugh gets from the fan base, from the GM, from the people who just care about tickets and money and whatever. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if Jim Harbaugh was like, no.
Well, we'll look at it
John
this way,
Harbaugh,
though.
sorry.
I just mentioned Burrow. Look, that's the Bengals division right now. Say what you want. The Bengals went 6-0. I know they didn't crush everybody as far as the regular season. They went 10-7 last game, whatever. They didn't play starters. So let's say 10-6. But my point is this. They crushed everybody. Sorry, they went 5-1. They lost again that last game to Cleveland. Again, not counting that. My point is this, Joe. Like the Bengals are the team with the number on, but they're also the team with, I would argue, the most swag in that division. Like the reason I'm bringing this up is I think there's legitimate pressure on Lamar Jackson this year because
I think there was already pressure
with how they got destroyed both times by the Bengals last year. Everyone Burrow's playing so well. You have,
but the NFL is so it's like from year to year.
I agree.
Everybody had the Bengals finishing last year, and now everybody has the Bengals finishing first. So,
but I don't even know. I agree. Like I don't know if the Bengals are going to finish first, and I'm not even saying that. What I'm saying is, I just feel that there is legitimate pressure on Lamar Jackson to perform this year under this contract season because he does like he was quote unquote the guy in that division. Now it's like, yeah, you ain't the guy anymore.
Yeah,
or you need to prove that you're still the guy, so to speak. And obviously we don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson in that division. You keep hearing things. The latest report is that he will sue, very Tom Brady-esque, probably a smart legal tactic. The report this week is that he would sue through a federal lawsuit if he was suspended for a year.
Okay.
Which would then just draw out his suspension, kind of like Brady. Again, a quick reminder, Brady ended up playing a full season until he actually sat from Deflategate because he sued, because then you can just keep kicking the can down the road, so to speak. That's the report, is that he will sue, which, again, I probably read too much on this. They keep going back to 8 games.
Right.
Because he won't sue if that happens.
Right. That's my prediction. 8.5 games.
Do you think anybody will have interest in Jimmy Garoppolo now that the 49ers have said, hey, you can seek a trade, you can look into things with your agent? Where would Jimmy G go? We saw the market for Baker Mayfield and it wasn't high.
Yeah. I have no idea. I mean,
like at this point, where does he go?
I mean, I would think that if that's the asking price for quarterbacks these days, that there would be like here's what I would say.
So he would get, real quick to hop in, he would get like 20, it's around like 25 or 26 million this year, I believe.
Okay.
From a team, which is a lot of money still.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I'm just looking around the league. It's like the teams where you could say, hey, come and, have an opportunity. Like, I don't know, like New Orleans. They're not. I was
just going to say that.
They're not going to pay him now, right?
I think the Saints win more games with Jimmy G than they will with James Winston.
Well, I mean, yes, of course. But they already spent the money, right? They gave Jameis the money, which is
they didn't give Jameis that much, did they?
They didn't give him nothing. I think they gave him 20 million.
No, I think he doesn't have that much money as far as that contract.
2-year, $28 million.
Yeah, so it's a lot less.
But they gave him 21 million. Oh, including a $14 million signing bonus.
I don't know. I don't know who would want Jimmy G at this point. I don't know where he'd fit. Seattle's going to let Geno Smith and Drew Lock duke it out.
Yeah.
And it's not like Seattle has this stellar defense where Jimmy G can do his thing. If he went to New Orleans, he's got that defense. I think he's going to be kind of like a lame duck quarterback.
He's going to be the Michael Conforto of football.
Yeah, I don't exactly get that reference.
He's just out of baseball, and it's just like been out of baseball the whole year.
He's still out of baseball?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be fascinating to see how it unfolds. I hate to put your boys on blast, though.
Who's
I
that?
am. The Giants.
Okay.
I don't know if you looked at the rundown. Did you see this tweet?
I did not see it.
It was yesterday. It was from Warren Sharp. This is why. This shows how bad the Giants have been, and I didn't realize it was this bad. His tweet says, not at any point, not in any season for the last 5 years did the Giants have a winning record. They are the only team in the NFL to not even have 1 week where they were above 500 in any of the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's not surprising at all to me.
Like, you guys never were even 2-1 at a certain point.
No, because we start off every year 0-2. Every fucking year. Every year. Forever. 0-2. Going back to that one season where they make, they go 10-6 or 11-5, 11-5, whatever it was, and lose to the Packers. Every year, 0-2. And that's the thing. They've gotten themselves back to 500 at points. They've gotten themselves to a game under 500 where they're fucking leading the division. But yeah, I'm not surprised at that at all, because they have, I don't know the last time they won the first game of the year. If a Giants team wins the first game of the year, we'll have a parade.
I just didn't realize it's been that bad.
I think this is going to be a good coach GM, pairing for the Giants. And I think things will start to change here, but it's going to be interesting to see what they're able to do this year. If they can be a winning football team this year, that's great. Because you got to start somewhere.
Well, it's the end of the road, or the fork in the road, so to speak, for Daniel Jones.
Well, yeah, they didn't pick up his option. And that's fine. And I'm totally on board with them playing Daniel Jones, like starting him and being like, yes, he's our starting quarterback, and let's see what he can do in a year where we need to make a decision. I'm totally fine with that. I still believe in Daniel Jones, because I think the major issue with Daniel Jones is just turning the ball over, and it's specifically fumbling. But also, you're not protected at all. I'm just of the opinion, like, if you're not protected, like, what am I judging you on?
Do you think it's been that bad, though?
Yeah.
You can't judge him at all.
Yeah, kind of. Because when he is protected, he looks really good. I mean, it's the same. Listen, I don't think anybody thinks, and I know everybody will be like, injury. I don't think anybody thinks Saquon Barkley isn't really, really good. The guy's getting hit in the backfield every fucking play. It's like, what's the guy supposed to do? I just refuse. Now, it doesn't mean you go ahead and you pay these guys based on like, we'll figure it out. But Daniel Jones, accurate, throws a good deep ball, very athletic, fumbles a lot when he gets hit, gets hurt a few times when he gets hit. But it's like those both fumbling and getting hurt, testament to like, guys are just in your face the whole fucking day. And not every quarterback can be a Manning that just fucking throws their cyborg on and just goes like, stands up and plays 20 years with one continuous concussion.
They should really study that. Or they should, as far as what they did to make sure they stayed on the field.
Oh, I mean, I've heard, and I feel like it was out there for a minute and then got buried. Like maybe like, I feel like it was like fucking, what's his name? Rob Delaney. It's like Rob Delaney's Kimmel set. It's just like been scrubbed from the internet. There was like a thing where Archie Manning.
By the way, I've seen that set.
I know, it's unbelievable. I love burritos. Sometimes I put them in my glove box and I eat them, and they're good.
That was a set, and I don't like to shit on comics because I know how hard it is.
Well, that's okay because you're not shitting on a comic. You're shitting on a Twitter avatar.
But that was a set where you felt uncomfortable watching it. And then you think about the actual crowd.
And then you think about the process. Imagine the managers and agents and producers and fucking, I mean, YouTube accounts and what to get it wiped from the internet.
Bro, I got it right here.
But it's on like some budget ass site, right? Or is it like, did it find its way back to YouTube?
Bro, it's on YouTube.
No, it was gone for a long time.
It's titled, let me just play some of this. It's titled Funniest Man on Twitter Bombs on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Oh, the internet is savage. Can I play a little of this?
Sure.
I know nothing going in, but it's 5 minutes, but let's just play some of it.
Welcome back. Our next guest is an exceptionally funny man. You can see him live here in Los Angeles at Largo on March 1st, and you owe it yourself to follow his exceptionally funny work on Twitter. Please welcome Rob Delaney.
Well, see, that's the first caveat, dude.
Yeah.
You're getting introduced again. I'm not want to shit on people, but when one of your plugs is your Twitter account, oh, I'm actually excited to play this. He's in a full suit.
Hello there. How are you, everybody? Nice to see you all. Thank you. Did you guys have a good day? I did. I had tacos for lunch. I had like 7 or 8 of them. I ate at a restaurant called Tacos Por Favor. If you guys don't speak Spanish, that means tacos are fantastic and you should eat them at every opportunity. After I ate my tacos, I went outside and I saw a cop sitting across the street, and he was eating a taco. And I knew that he was happy because he was experiencing what I just had. And then all of a sudden, a criminal came down the street and did a U-turn right in front of the cop. Just an angry, brazen U-turn, the kind like an arsonist or a counterfeiter would do.
So let me just hop in here. So we're at 1:08. So cut like 8 seconds.
So far, tacos por favor is tacos are delicious and you should eat them all the time.
There's not a single joke.
That was the joke. That's the one you missed. He doesn't know Spanish.
Well, I know that's the joke.
Yeah.
But let's get through a few more of these.
And the cop was like, what do I do? I got a taco. And so he just took his fist and he went, honk. And then he goes, knock it off. I didn't even yell it. He just said it, but I heard it because I was close enough. And he was like, well, that'll do. Protect and serve. I'm not just a taco guy. I was driving down the street the other day, and I saw a really fun billboard. It was like a crudely drawn horizon, like a little kid would draw, and then it had a sunrise coming out of it. So I was already happy. A lot of ads are like, you're garbage, throw some more money in the trash. But this one was just a sunrise, and it wasn't a normal sun. It was a pepperoni pizza. So it was just like, So the ad worked. I pulled over right away and I ate 2 pizzas without assistance. I don't keep hot pizzas in my car. I mean, I went to a restaurant, I ordered them, but I do keep peanut.
Silence. I mean, right now, we're at 2 minutes and 6 seconds. Dead silence.
They're like, where are the punchlines? Or are you just breezing through them? He's like, yeah, I kind of am. I'm just going the thing. And then I eat pizzas and then I eat them. And then, you put them in your face, you shove them in your face hole. He's like a Mad Libs of like a late 2000s aughts comedian. It's like, I say things like face hole and sports ball and put the pizza in my face hole and just smash it. Put a burrito in my trunk, and a cop's like, oh, rats, we'll get you.
I gotta read some of these comments from YouTube.
Wait, we gotta keep going. By the way, this is all. I never even got to finish my point about Archie Manning being scrubbed from the internet, but I will after we listen to Rob Delaney.
You want me to finish it?
Yeah, but play one more. There's one where I think he goes back to tacos. He puts the tacos.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. I think he like forgets that he puts tacos in his glove box or something like that.
All right, let's try.
Literally goes tacos. He goes tacos, pizza. I think he's got some other food product coming.
peanut butter in my car. My wife won't let me keep it in our house because I eat it like a monster, like somebody who's trying to commit suicide with peanut butter, and it's upsetting to watch. So I eat it in my car. I keep peanut butter in my car. I keep 2 jars of it in the glove compartment. And what I'll do is I'll pull under an on-ramp to the highway near where we live, and I'll just park under there, and I'll just eat it like a fat spy with my pants around my ankles. There's also some woods near where we live, and what I'll do, there's a shed in these woods, and I'll go in there and I'll just eat in the shed where nobody can see me. The way that I eat, it's just like not okay in polite society.
Can you pause it for a second?
I was at a...
At the time, I think he's moved to England, but at the time he lived in Los Angeles. No woods, no shed. This is all, it's just the entire 5 minutes of fictional food eating. Did he eat 7 or 8 tacos? No, he didn't. Did that cop thing happen? No, it did not. Did he eat 2 pizzas in a row after seeing it on a billboard? Absolutely not. Has he ever sat under an overpass eating peanut butter? No. Is there a shed in the woods? No. This is going to be a great segue into the Derek Jeter, the captain discussion that conspiracy theories that I've already put up on Dirty Slides, where they're just making up completely fictional things. But literally everything he said so far, not based in truth whatsoever.
Let me ask this.
I would have moved to England if I did that set on late night too.
Yeah, like I'm debating this out loud. Is this the worst set that's ever been on TV?
I bet you it's close.
Like it's got to be up there. I mean,
I bet you there's got to be some guys that got themselves on like Carson in the 80s who were doing like fucking knock jokes and shit. But
so this is 2013 is when this set was. I got to read some of these comments. The first one says, so, and then in all caps, this is why he came to the UK to make a shitty sitcom. The second comment, keeping this on the internet forever, despite all of Delaney's efforts, is a public service. You know, it's especially bad when late night shows like these tell the audience to ramp up the laughter before the comic comes on. Oh yeah, they kind of did do that. Eating food is a great bit.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, dude, he's just getting destroyed. Yeah, people know, and people are commenting on how this was supposedly trying to be scrubbed from the internet. Here's a good comment. This is actually making me angry. Boy, he just barrows. Not barrows. Boy, he just barrels right through that deafening silence, huh? Just keeps on going. Good for trying, bro. But confidence can only get you so far.
Anyway, this came up because my point was there was at one point a video.
Hold on a second. He literally had to go in witness protection because his stand-up set was so bad. He had to move to the UK.
Yeah.
Like, think about that.
He's like, I'm going to take my 1.5 million Twitter followers and go to Britain and see if they have not seen it. He's like, I've scrubbed this from all of the internets, but specifically I focus on Europe. Now I need to find an English-speaking country in Europe that loves tacos.
Anyway, you were saying
there was at one point, and I feel like it might have even been Archie and Peyton sitting next to each other in some sort of thing. It was like some sort of off-season thing. But at one point, Archie gave like the top 5. Like he didn't list it like that. It wasn't that, but he was like, oh, it's a couple of things from my career, you know, because he was Mr. Scramble Around, fucking wild man.
Sure.
That he learned about not getting hurt, and that he passed those on, that they were like some of the most important things that he taught his sons about being a quarterback, which was and I have not been able to find this video since. I feel like they went full Rob Delaney and scrubbed it from the internet, because Peyton and Eli were probably like, Dad, let's not teach every kid in the world how to survive. Like, it's kind of our thing is that we never get hurt. But one of them was like, when you're like the step up in the pocket throw, you'll see a lot of the thing. They kind of like short arm the ball and then turn their shoulder in to like accept the contact. And Archie was like, that was something I learned. It was like, you can throw a pick and it'll hurt your team in the short term. But if you get caught like extending your arm and take a hit and you tear a rotator cuff, it hurts your team for seasons of time. It was all these things about just like how to take hits, how to get thrown to the ground, essentially how to, even if it hurts you in the short term, how to just stay alive and not get concussed and not get your arms hurt or your fingers hurt. And I swear, Rob Delaney's PR team must have been hired by Archie Manning to take it down, because I can't find it anywhere. But at one point he just laid it out. He's like, if you do these 5 things, it like greatly reduces your chances of like having a season-ending injury.
Yeah, well, he was absolutely abused.
Oh, another thing was like, another thing is you this is something that both Manning brothers were criticized a lot in the short term or over the course of their career. But they always did it, is like when guys would be down around their legs in the pocket,
just go down.
They would just lay down.
Yeah.
And people would always be like, Eli gets literally touched and he falls down. It's like, it's that moment where you're trying to get away and some guy's got your ankle and some other guy comes in and now you've torn your ACL.
So they mentioned in that Luck podcast, they mentioned, obviously because he took over for Peyton Manning, but they mentioned that, and they mentioned Archie teaching him because of kind of what you're saying. They mentioned that, which I found fascinating about, look, he was abused when he played for the Saints. So he tried to teach his kids, and obviously it started with Peyton, hey, and they talk about that, like, dude, take the sack.
And it's, it's a great example. Like one of the great Eli Manning, self-awareness, like be aware of the moment. Cause I used to criticize Philip Rivers. I remember it was like a week 17 game, or it might've been a first round playoff game. And I wish I remember the exact situation, because it was like the moment where I was like, oh, Philip Rivers doesn't get it. And it was like 4th and 15 or something like that. There was like a holding penalty. And basically it was like, if you don't convert here, the game's over. And he's back in the pocket, and he's back in the pocket. He's back in the pocket, and no one's saying, and like the internal clock goes off and he holds it for one more second, and then he just throws the ball out of bounds. And the internal clock said, like, this is the point. If you're just sitting back,
chuck it somewhere.
Yeah. But wasn't aware
not
that,
out
like,
of bounds,
but wasn't aware that like you just threw it out of bounds, turnover on downs, season over, game over. Whereas Eli Manning, I mean, the Super Bowl moment from the helmet catch is the one time in his career, he ever made that play, because every other time somebody's got his shoulders and he's swinging around in the backfield,
he goes down.
He just lays down.
Yeah.
But in the Super Bowl, he's going, if we don't convert here, we lose the Super Bowl. So even if it costs me my ACL, I stay up and I fucking chuck the ball downfield, and we fucking live to fight another down. And that's the thing. There was a video out there at one point.
That's crazy.
Of Archie talking about it, and now I can't find it anywhere.
Well, one last thing
it's
about
Rob. That video is in Rob Delaney's glove box with his peanut butter. That's where it's hiding. It's in the shed in the woods. It's in the shed in the woods.
I never thought about that.
I go and I eat I eat burritos in the shed, and I watch the Archie Manning video.
Look, and I understand that we
take
all,
my food junk hole and I just fill it up with food junk.
We take creative liberty as performers, as comedians, like you do that. You do exaggerations, you take creative liberty. But you're right. He's just making things up. There's a difference between taking some creative liberty and exaggeration and doing those things and just saying that he's hiding in his car to eat peanut butter.
In a fictional woods in Los Angeles.
His wife hates peanut butter that much that he's hiding in his car. One last thing about him, I had to go to his Twitter.
Can you just imagine if that was a real thing? Where you been, honey? It's like, I was in the shed in the woods eating the peanut butter. You don't let me. I was just face holing the peanut butter. While you were over here watching the sports ball, I was face fucking a jar of peanut butter in the woodshed.
I just want to read this one tweet that he did yesterday. I'm in big trouble if there's ever a hashtag Me Too movement for my farts.
I mean, that's comedy.
But like, it's not an account writing that as like a, like the joke, like I'll do that sometimes on purpose, just to like a hack. Like he's writing that as like, hey, this is funny. I might have trouble sleeping tonight after watching 3 minutes of that set.
All because I brought up the Archie Manning fucking wipes himself from the internet.
Dude, that's how wild this show is. I mean, you watch that set. The only thing that can bounce you back after that set would be a cold Miller Lite, Joe. That's the only thing.
It's a little early in the day here. Not that it's not 5 o'clock somewhere, but I'm still having my coffee. Otherwise, I would have a Miller Lite. Got a big day ahead of me. Got a couple shows tonight. Got a fridge full of Miller Lite.
Well,
I'll be drinking some Miller Lights this weekend, Andy.
I mentioned
the weekend's
heat
here.
Yeah, and I mentioned the heat, guys. Like, if there's anything better, if there's not a better coping mechanism as far as dealing with the heat than relaxing with a cold Miller Lite. Right?
It's that time of the year where you go into the cooler, you bring out a cold Miller Lite, and the first thing you do, you put it on your neck.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that. First, you just get that original light beer cologne. Then you pop it open. Oh, man.
Well, summer is here, and this is the time to drink your cold Miller Lights. It's great tasting. It's only 96 calories. You can have it delivered right to your front door. And unlike all the other light beers, it doesn't taste like water. It tastes like beer. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy cold ones with your crew, go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
I got to shout out our boy, Hall of Famer CT. He tweeted at us yesterday because he sends us a lot of pictures of him on the golf course drinking Miller Lite, which I appreciate.
Yes.
Sometimes it just makes me go, I'm going out right. I'll sometimes see CT's tweets and I'll be like, I'm putting my bag in my car. I'm going to play golf and having Miller Lite immediately. But he said, should have started this from the beginning at Miller Lite and hashtag golf 7/20/22. He gave the date and the course he's playing, Sun Willows in Pasco, Washington. And then he showed us a Miller Lite out on the course. I love this. And I will say to Dirtballs, follow this Hall of Famer's lead. I want Miller Lite picture on the golf course, date, what state and what course you're playing in, city, state, and course. I love this. Miller Lights from all kinds of different golf courses in America. Yes, please. I'm going to be doing it soon.
Yeah. Send those our way at the Dirty Sports or at Miller Lite. Tag on Instagram and Twitter. So you brought up this Derek Jeter doc. I haven't watched it yet.
I have a lot of things to say about this Derek Jeter doc. First of all, I'm just offended that there's an 8-part Derek Jeter. It is offensive. 8 parts.
But that's the age we live in. How long was the Brady? How long was the Jordan?
Yeah, but Brady and Jordan are arguably the greatest players to ever play their sport. Derek Jeter is not the greatest player to ever play his sport. It's not close. He's not in the top 20. He's not in the. I dare I say he's not in the top 50. He's not the best shortstop of all time. There are so many players. You can say Tom Brady's, has this many, like Peyton Manning should, but like Tom Brady has all the records, has all the Super Bowls, has all the things. I said this the other day because I saw this tweet and I tweeted this from my account. No, I tweeted it from Dirty Slides, I think. I'll pull it up. This is the problem. This is everything that's wrong with sports content today. Adam Shine Derek Jeter is the greatest shortstop in baseball history. Go. And I said, this is why we need to stop airing propaganda films. A-Rod won 3 MVPs and had 5 seasons where he was number 1 in his league in WAR. Jeter had 0 of either. Derek Jeter wasn't the best shortstop on his own fucking team. You're a member of the sports media. You've watched 1 episode of an 8-part propaganda film, and you're calling him the greatest shortstop of all time. He's just not. He's just not. And you can say steroids this, steroids that, whatever. That is not like, is anybody thinking that A-Rod was on steroids his entire career? Is anybody thinking that A-Rod was on steroids in high school when he was like essentially the Michael Jordan of baseball? He was the original LeBron James when they were courting him in high school. This is the next great thing. Derek Jeter isn't even close to A-Rod. No,
well,
you know how many shortstops have MVPs? And it's insanity. You guys can listen to the Dirty Slides podcast we just put out. I also have there's a big thing. It's about 10 minutes in the documentary. Derek Jeter, lifelong Yankees fan, wanted to be a Yankee, was telling people from the age of 5 that he was going to be the Yankees shortstop. I just believe they fully made this up. I believe it's fully created. They talk about he wore a New York necklace. We never see it. They show his childhood bedroom where there's a Yankee uniform just nailed to the wall. It does not look like a childhood bedroom in the fucking 80s. It looks like some grandmother's fucking living room. It just like, he gets drafted 6th and he says he didn't even know the Yankees were drafting 6th. You're a lifelong Yankees fan. Your dream is to be the Yankees shortstop. You don't know they're drafting 6th. I believe it's a fictional tale. And I'll say this, and I want to add this one thing. My friend Tony Calabrese. You've met Tony a couple times.
I don't think I've actually have I ever met him?
You had to have met him at some point, right?
I don't know if I have.
You stayed at his house. You stayed at his house in San Francisco. Anyway, my brother Mikey took a hot poker to Tony's ass after our conversation, after the phone call about greatest high school athletes we've ever seen. And Mikey got Tony all riled up that I didn't even mention his name. Tony was slotted to go, I believe, in the 3rd round of the Cubs out of high school. Decided to play baseball at Seton Hall, where he tied and broke many Big East records, including most home runs in a Big East tournament game. I think he tied Mo Vaughn with 2. But Mikey got him very riled up that I didn't even mention his name in the greatest high school athletes. And I'll just say this. First of all, apologies that I didn't put you in the class with 3 like NBA veterans. But also, if you watch the clips from Derek Jeter in high school, I will say this. I'll give you this bit of like apology compliment. Tony Calabrese was better at high school baseball than Derek Jeter, based on the clips that I saw. They show 15 clips of Derek Jeter playing high school baseball. They don't show him hitting a ball hard one time. They don't show him hitting a ball hard one time. This Derek, I'm of the opinion now that Derek Jeter's entire career was propaganda. I'm starting to think above average high school baseball players, if you let them play 20 years in the big leagues, you get 2,500 hits.
We got 3,500.
Yeah.
Right,
well, he was an above average high school baseball player. No doubt about that. He was really good. But I mean, this Derek Jeter, you look at, Greg Maddux, I believe, won 15 or more games. I believe he won 15 or more games for 17 consecutive seasons. He won 4 straight Cy Youngs, 1 with the Cubs, 3 consecutive with the Braves, 92, 93, 94, 95. Derek Jeter didn't win an MVP, didn't win the Battle Hill. My point is, how are we making, you want to make a 2-hour Derek Jeter documentary? Cool. Then make a 6-hour Cal Ripken one, and a 7-hour Tony Gwynn one, an 8-hour Greg Maddux one, a 45-hour Barry Bonds one. But we're making 8-part documentaries. about a guy whose essentially sole accolades are he stockpiled hits on a team that went full retirement tour for 5 seasons. We're like, we're going to stink, but Derek Jeter's going to keep collecting singles. And he was on a bunch of championship teams. Where's the Robert Ory 8-part documentary?
Well, look, I think we're realizing this, and I'm realizing it more as I get older and the more I learn how things work and the spins and I mean, what happens is they just nominate somebody, right? Like, and you see it in the entertainment world just as much, I'd argue. And this isn't me being a hater. Like, dude, I see it all the time where I'm like, how is this person suddenly the guy or the girl who's she's now the comedian or the actor,
but like,
but that's my point is like, that's what they've done with him, which is weird because look, he obviously played for the Yankees. They won all those titles in the 90s, and New York's the biggest market in the country.
LA is a huge city. Listen, on those teams, they always got a big slugger, right? It was always Tino Martinez and Giambi and A-Rod.
But he was the good-looking, soft-spoken.
Right. And then they always had an ace pitcher. They always had Jack McDowell and Roger Clemens and Andy Pettit and Jimmy Key. They always had closers. They always had Wetland. They always had Mariano, the greatest closer of all time, right? So now we're going to like the 3rd or 4th best. Listen, LA's a huge market, and they always had Shaq and Kobe, or they had Pau and Kobe. But the guy who was clutch, the guy who was the captain, who also named Derek Fisher, tons of clutch shots. Why don't we have an 8-part Derek Fisher documentary? Soul. But through all the changes in the Lakers, the soul, the guy who always hit the big shot.
But to be fair, I mean, Jeter was so consistent. Did he bat 300 for his career?
Yeah.
I mean, that's not easy to do, man. Like we can't diminish the longevity of things like that. I know what you're saying. You're basically just saying he's overvalued and overhyped for what he actually was.
Yeah. Tony Gwynn's career batting average. What do you think Tony Gwynn's career batting average is?
325.
338. Tony Gwynn's career batting average is 338.
Let me ask you something though.
Tony Gwynn's career batting average with 2 strikes is 302. The next best in the fucking post World War I era is Wade Boggs at 260. 338. Tony Gwynn could come back from the dead, play 4 seasons of baseball, get 4 at-bats every day, not get a hit, go back to the earth, and still have a higher career batting average than Derek Jeter. Give him a 400-part documentary.
But again, he didn't play in New York. He didn't win all those titles. This is why. We know this. What about this comparison? You're not going to like it. I said longevity. He was consistent. He was clutch when he had to be in the playoffs. I mean, do you see an Eli Manning, Derek Jeter comparison?
You can see it here's the thing. It's comparable because they were in New York. The difference is in 5 World Series championships, Derek Jeter has 1 World Series MVP. Eli Manning in 2 Super Bowls has 2. The quarterback on a football team is so much more important than it's like being the 3, 4, and 5 hitter on a baseball team, of which he was never the guy.
How many shortstops have won MVPs regular season?
I mean, off the top of my head, Cal Ripken won 1, Yount won 1, Tejada won 1, Larkin won 1, A-Rod won multiple.
And he never got 1.
He didn't win a batting title, dude.
But again, we know this. It's the marketing. It's the Nike. It's the Gatorade. It's the Jordan brand. That's what it is. Is they nominate these guys.
Do you know how many batting titles Tony Gwynn won?
8.
8.
Oh, I was right. Good guess.
8.
I look, as someone who's not from New York, but still obviously grew up a baseball fan and followed baseball. I never, and this, I'm not just saying this to jump on Joe's side. I never understood the Jeter stuff. I didn't. As someone from Ohio, because he was never charismatic enough from my perspective.
But here's the thing about Jeter. If Jeter is the guy, if Jeter is the LeBron, if Jeter is the Shaq, if Jeter is the fucking, even the Steph Curry, where you're like, this team is Derek Jeter's team and they won 5 championships. But he never was. I would argue, I bet you in those 5 championship years, I would bet that he had the best WAR on his own team maybe once.
The thing about those Yankees teams,
A-Rod had the best WAR in the American League 5 times.
But Joe, like the thing about those Yankees teams, especially in the 90s, they were teams. You know what I'm saying? Like they weren't. I never viewed them as a fan, as a high school kid. When I'd watch those Yankees games and I'd watch those playoffs and then even into college, I never viewed them as, hey, he's the guy.
Well, he never was the guy.
But that's my point. I'm saying they were like legit all-encompassed teams. They had pitchers, they had relievers, they had your stars, they had your utility guys. They were a great,
they would go out every year,
put together
get the best closer. They had the best closer. Who? How many part documentary does Mariano get? They had the best closer in history, which come playoff time can't be overvalued. They would go out and they'd be like, who's the best pitcher in baseball this year? Oh, hated Yankee rival Roger Clemens. We'll take him. Jack McDowell, Mike Mussina. Oh, Mussina, the Orioles don't. Let's go get the Orioles ace. Andy Pettit. He leaves. He comes back. Always pitchers. Starting pitching. They would always go get a 3-hitter, a 4-hitter. They're going out and get MVPs.
But that's my point. Is
Portable.
I'm just saying there never was one guy. All I'm saying is, to me, those Yankees teams were just really well put together.
Yeah,
great
because
teams.
what they did and what the Yankees fans love to do is they had the core 4. They had the young guys. They had the Posadas and the Jeters and the Bernie and the thing, and they keep those guys. And then they just go and get the best 3-hitter in baseball and plug him in. They go get a best ace. They go get a big reliever. They have the closer, and they put the stars around their core. But to pretend that the core, why doesn't Posada get it?
I don't know.
Anyway, the documentary part 1 was fun because they did a lot of Yankee stuff that wasn't just Derek Jeter based. But there's also, I'm just through one episode, I'm like, are we just going to make things up?
Are you going to watch all of it?
Yeah, I am. Just because I'm fucking miserable about it. And
That's amazing.
I'm going to find, it's a Spike Lee thing. I've got to find who's the greatest director in history from San Diego? Because we need the Tony Gwynn 45-parter. Tony Gwynn, baseball season ends. I want all of November. Call it Mr. November. Every single day in November, we show a different part of the Tony Gwynn documentary. 3:38.
Nobody would watch it. You know that. Nobody would watch it.
Why not?
Because
ESPN
Jeter has
doesn't
all the
tell you to.
Yeah, it's true. People are brainwashed so easily, man. They've been told their whole life, yeah, Jeets, respect, all that. The commercials, the women. He dated just from the models to the amazing actresses, all that. To his gift bags that he would give women after he slept with them.
Which he claims didn't happen.
That's actually a knock against him. I think the gift bags
I agree.
the gift bags are hilarious. Yeah, man. I don't know. I did see a tweet about baseball and the average cost for a family of 4 to attend an MLB baseball game.
Tony Gwynn hit over 300 for 19 consecutive years.
Number one Tony Gwynn stan. Joe No Chill.
Well, here's why I bring up Tony Gwynn, because obviously we can make a 25-part Ted Williams documentary, and we can make a documentary about A-Rod and Bonds and all these guys, right? The players in baseball history, again, who are better than Derek Jeter in terms of like total, offensive, defensive, everything. It's like a fairly endless list, especially when you consider his minus 162 runs saved, the least runs saved in the history of baseball by anybody in any position. When you consider that, the reason I bring up Tony Gwynn is because Tony Gwynn is what everybody wants you to believe Derek Jeter was. Some incredible singles hitter, some guy who just won batting titles year after year after year after year. Because Derek Jeter isn't Mr. Home Run, and he's not Mr. RBI, and he's not Mr. Defense, right? He's not Mr. OPS. He's not Mr. Slugging. He's not anything. He's a guy who stockpiled singles to the tune of being the 6th most of all time. But Tony Gwynn did that. But Tony Gwynn did it for fucking real.
Yeah.
Most batting titles ever. Most seasons leading the league in hits, 7. Most consecutive seasons batting 300 or better, 19. Most seasons leading the league in singles, 7. Highest career batting average, 338. Highest batting average in a season for a Padre, 394. 394.
It sounds like they gave Tony Gwynn the Rob Delaney treatment. And they just scrubbed his stats from the internet. Nobody knows.
No, everybody, it's all out there. People just don't go fucking crazy for it because Derek Jeter was fisting off singles for 20 more fucking seasons while the Yankees stunk. They let him go out there and fucking lead boots and fucking not field the ball at shortstop for 5 extra years. So he could stockpile singles so some fucking kid could tip his cap.
I'll be interested.
A whole goddamn propaganda campaign. The Jordan brand is unbelievable.
Oh, they're brilliant.
Jordan
at it.
Jeter, Mello.
They're brilliant at it, man.
The Jordan brand is honestly, the Jordan brand is like fucking is more of a propaganda thing than CNN at this point. Like, is Jordan brand the single
oh, they're brilliant. Imagine if the Jordan brand got into politics.
Yeah,
we wouldn't be stuck with these dinosaur bozo candidates. I mean,
Joseph Goebbels is fucking was he the head PR guy at the Jordan brand?
I mean, seriously, it's like almost like a Nazi run or like a communist Russia or China. Like
instead of the hand signal, it's just a guy with his legs spread open, his tongue out.
I mean, it's amazing what they've done. It truly is. It's wild. So I saw this tweet which listed the average cost of a family of 4 to attend a Major League Baseball game. It's for every single team. And no, I'm getting a call. Turn that off. Who do you think the most expensive team is?
Well, I think I saw it was the Red Sox, right?
Yeah. Family of 4 includes the ticket, the beer, the soda, hot dog, parking. These are the top 5 most expensive teams to see. The Red Sox, this is average. All things included. Red Sox, $324. Cubs, $312. Yankees, $302. Astros, $293. Nationals, $279.
How dare the Nationals?
And the bottom 5, the least expensive teams to see. You have the Rays at $157. The Rockies, $154. Pirates.
Can we shout out to the Rockies? Shout out to the Rockies. Yeah. I know. I mean, maybe I'm allowed to mention it because they are one conglomerate, but they obviously Their Coors Field. So if you look at their thing, their beer price is especially low. I believe it says you could get a beer at Coors Field for $3.
Correct.
But shout out to the Rockies because, I mean, not a terrible product baseball wise historically, a fairly good product, an incredible stadium, good vibes. So like props to the Rockies and historically great attendance.
Yeah. Then
surprise, you make it cheap. You put a halfway decent product on the field. You set attendance records.
And the last three cheapest are the Pirates at 150 a game, the Marlins at 136, and Randy Ruther's Arizona Diamondbacks at 126. So the average cost for a family of four to attend a Major League Baseball game is $204. It's not that cheap. But I'll be honest, it's not the worst. Obviously, NFL is way more. There's only 8 or 9 home games. So about $50 a person in your family to attend an average Major League Baseball game.
But, it's we're talking about 4 people, right? Mom, dad, 2 kids.
So it's not the worst.
Those kids aren't ponying up $50.
No. Did you see what Rob Manfred said about minor league baseball pay?
Rob Manfred's the goddamn devil.
He's so stupid. He's so stupid.
I mean, he went on record this weekend talking about the all-star uniforms, which I didn't hate, but the best part of the all-star game, seeing everybody out there, all the home team guys in their whites, all the away team guys in their grays. It's just tradition. They went black and white. They went like a Vanderbilt home and aways. And I didn't hate the uniforms, but he was like, we've always just felt all these guys in different uniforms is shitty. And it's like, how do you do you not have a fucking do you not have people in the office that you run things by? There's not one guy.
No.
Sorry, Commissioner, I hate to interrupt you. That thing you just said, 100% of baseball fans disagree with you. What? 100% of baseball fans love the different uniforms. Well, we're doing it anyway.
So AAA baseball players make an average of $14,000 a year. Yeah, I said that. AAA baseball players make an average of $14,000 per year on average. Rob Manfred was asked if his owners don't pay minor league players. Rob Manfred was asked if owners don't pay minor leaguers a living wage because they can't afford to or because they aren't interested in doing so. And he said, I reject the premise that they are not paid a living wage. Like, dude, what fucking planet do you live on, man? You know the numbers.
So you said $14,000. They've got to report to spring training in February. Right?
Correct.
March, April, May, June, July, August, September for AAA guys. It's 8 months. It's like $1,700 a month. $1,700 a month, dude.
In 2022, most minor leaguers will make an annual salary between $4,800 and $15,400. The federal
and that's just and that $14,000 number was just AAA guys. You're single A, you're double A. You're not making shit.
The federal poverty guideline for one person in most states is $13,590. Now, look, some guys have a big signing bonuses.
Not a lot of them.
But I was just going to say,
a very few.
Not most players.
And they all work in the off season while working out. Or or their kids and they go home and live at their parents' house.
He's running away, just running away with worst commissioner of all sports. Like it's not even close. at this point. Again, I don't know much about hockey or Gary Bettman, so I can't comment on that. But as far as basketball, baseball, and football, like it's not even close as far as putting in the foot in the mouth, doing awful ideas, letting a team cheat to a World Series, not penalizing them. It's just thing after thing after thing.
Seasons canceled. Games canceled.
You're a fucking
No one
buffoon.
paying. Yeah.
You're a buffoon, dude. You're just a buffoon.
And then
C-League was a buffoon and you're a buffoon.
And then we'll cry about these guys who want, Juan Soto's turning down $440 million. You're holding your team hostage. Like, how much money do you need? Well, you made him live like he was homeless.
Yeah.
When he was in the minor leagues. Juan Soto, of all people, not the guy who had to be in the minor leagues for very long, but some of these guys, 4 or 5 years just being homeless.
Sure. Yeah, man. It's ridiculous. So I feel like we want to end the show on a funny, light note. Not that it's been so serious.
You're not going to play Rob Delaney's stand-up again, are you?
The final 2 minutes, we can do this now.
I think after pizza and burrito, and peanut butter burritos, peanut butter tacos and pizza, I believe he might wrap up with some cake.
I just want to know what was going on. I want to know what was going on in the Kimmel producer's head. It was just like, hey, this guy's got a big following on Twitter. I mean, it'd be equivalent of giving a set to what's the guy who always trolls like 3-year varsity?
It'd be Barry McCockner just going on Kimmel.
You know what I'm talking about? That one guy.
Sometimes my wife, she doesn't like me talking about how overrated Tom Brady is. So I'll just go into the woods. There's a shed in the woods where I do all my Tom Brady hating. I'll pull over under a bridge and Tom Brady hate with my pants around my ankles.
3-year Letterman.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. All right. We're going to end with this. We have some calls. We'll get to a few, but I don't even know if we're going to get to many beyond this one. This opened up Pandora's box for me. So 310-359-8365. This is from our hockey correspondent, Ryan Klatt from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. I just like saying that.
Hey guys, it's Ryan Klatt calling in. Just want to start off by quickly saying thanks for the great discussion on my call about creating your all-time band. That was a lot of fun. But anyways, the reason I'm calling today is because we've been going down dirty sports memory lane. Andy's been doing some digging for some old bad takes. So I thought I'd share a little memory that I have. This one involves our old pal, Joel Scibelli. And Andy, you can maybe confirm this by going back, but my dirty sports memory is like a steel trap. So anyways, this would have been back right before the 2017 NFL season, I believe. You guys were doing your NFL preview show. You're going through the divisions, making your predictions, and you were discussing the NFC South. And it gets to Scibelli's turn to say what he thinks is going to happen. And he says, well, I think this division is going to come down to the Falcons, the Panthers, and the Bucks, which, like, sick take, Scibelli. That's 3 of the 4 fucking teams in the division. But can you guys guess what wound up happening that season? The Saints won the division. Oh, Scibelli, you complete buffoon. So, yeah, but all seriousness, I kind of miss that guy. Can we somehow get another game of Does Scibelli Know? Just so many great moments from that. Anyways, that's all. Love the memories. Stay dirty.
I remember that.
So
I remember Scibelli just listing the NFC South teams and being like, this division's going to come down to this division. Classic Scibelli.
So here's the deal, though. I couldn't find that. Ryan said it was the 2017 NFL preview show. I went to that episode. I went to that specific division. Couldn't find it.
Was Scibelli on the show?
No, that because 2017 Trevor is now the intern.
Yeah. So it must have been 2016.
Went back to 2016, didn't hear Scibelli. So maybe I trust Ryan's memory unless I remember.
I remember
Maybe,
that conversation.
Are you sure it was on the preview show though? Is my question. That's where I'm getting. Maybe it wasn't on the actual because I've titled every NFL year. We'll just do like 2016 preview show, 2017, and so on. Right? I did not hear Scibelli on either of those shows at all. And
I remember this happening, but Ryan will tell you for sure.
So Scibelli was around. I do remember it happening too. Scibelli was around 2016. Maybe it just wasn't the preview show. But of course, I had to bring up some old Does Scibelli Know? Because for anybody who doesn't know, Joe Scibelli was our first intern, which by the way,
OG intern.
Which by the way, I just sent him a request and he accepted on LinkedIn. Does not list Dirty Sports intern on his LinkedIn.
How dare he?
A little disappointing. He lists his other internships, no Dirty Sports internship. But Scibelli was always a great guy. He's a great family. We did some tailgates. We went to some Rams games. Lifelong Rams fan. I'm sure he's just elated that they won the Super Bowl this year.
He was a Packers fan for a minute. He admitted originally, remember?
Yeah.
But came back when the Rams came back to LA.
He didn't have a team, to be fair. His grandfather played for the Rams.
Yeah.
So he's got his grandfather's jersey. He's got a cool history. So I created this game in 2016 called Does Scibelli Know? Because Joe and I learned quickly he knew nothing about pop culture, about sports, knowledge.
Sports it was always funny because you try to get him on pop culture and you'd bring up some shit from like 5 years before he was born. But I mean, sports wise, he was an intern for a sports show.
But he didn't get sports culture references.
Yeah.
A famous coach rant, a famous announcer rant, stuff like that. He didn't get.
I mean, again, I wasn't alive when Muhammad Ali was actively boxing either, but I know he's not Mike Tyson.
So we'd play this game, Does Scibelli Know? And I forgot there's a highlight reel of this from like the first couple years. I have to play some of these. And I'd love to get you. No, Scibelli's in the real world now. He's graduated college. He's got a full-time gig. Good for him. I don't know if you'd have interest in joining us for old time's sake. I would totally do it with him again. You would do it, right?
Of course. Love Scibelli. So boring.
So I want to play some of these old clips, and I'll tell you the date when we do these. This is some of the best of Does Scibelli Know?
Doesn't know things. This is incredible.
Does Scibelli know a thing?
This should be easy.
Okay, so this is August 10th, 2017.
Easy. What person's record did Pete Rose beat to become Major League Baseball's all-time hit leader?
Unbelievable.
What is with the delay? Scibelli is
Babe Ruth.
Praino, it's still just as funny hearing it 5 years. 5 years later, it's still just as good.
I'm surprised that fucking the propaganda didn't make him say Derek Jeter.
Babe Ruth. Unbelievable. Okay, this is a good one.
Does Scibelli know this movie?
Okay, this is May 22nd, 2017.
The list is long but distinguished. Yo, so's my Johnson.
Do you need me to play it again?
No, I heard it.
Okay.
I'm saying Scibelli does know. He didn't need to hear it twice.
I don't know.
Oh my God. What an opportunity.
How many times do you think you've said that line on our show?
100.
You've said it a lot.
Have you ever seen Top Gun, Scibelli?
Sure.
Sure.
He says it with so much confidence. Sure.
My favorite part of the he goes, You need to hear it again? No. Do you know it? Absolutely not.
So much confidence. Okay, this one is the all-time classic.
Does he know who says this infamous quote?
So this is the first ever Does Scibelli Know, for reference. This is July 14th, 2016. Wow, Joe, this is 6 years ago. The first ever Does Scibelli Know.
See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
Ray Lewis.
Oh!
Bart Scott.
Does Scibelli know?
Okay, so this is 6 weeks later for context. We didn't know, dude, it was such a hit. We did another Scibelli Knows just 6 weeks later.
This clip.
See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait.
Scibelli. Hold on. You do.
I do not remember the guy's name.
This is amazing.
I don't remember his name though.
This is unbelievable. Bart Scott Scibelli.
Yeah.
How do you forget that? How many times have we gone over that?
Like 25?
Okay.
Did he not know Remix to Ignition the first time?
So this
That's
is
right. Now I remember because people used to send me Snapchats
dude,
of
you
them
used to
listening
get
to it.
So many snaps. He missed it the first 3 games. The first 3 games of Does Scibelli Know. He didn't know this clip.
Okay. Artist and song, Joe Scibelli. What do you got for me?
No clue. I've heard the song. I don't know what it's called. I don't know who the artist is.
You don't retain info. That's R. Kelly remixed Ignition. Who is this? Who sang this?
Okay, just fight them. I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
I'm going to trust you on this one. Do you know? Praino says you do not know.
Muhammad Ali.
Jesus Christ, Scibelli.
Really? I thought for sure that was Muhammad Ali.
It's Mike.
That's why I
Tyson.
almost drove off the road.
Praino, he says with such confidence.
Yeah.
Really? I thought that was for sure Muhammad Ali.
Like Muhammad Ali, like the great poet of fucking boxing. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. He goes with, I'm ruthless. I'll eat your family. I'll eat your kids' brains for breakfast. Yeah, that sounds like the great orator, Muhammad Ali.
Oh, dude, I forgot how great that segment was.
How do you, by the way, at that point, right? And I can't believe I didn't even bring this up at the time. I think The Hangover, the original Hangover, comes out in what, 2009?
2009, correct.
The guy had seen it 5 times by then. You can't recognize Mike Tyson's voice?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So let's say Scibelli. How old is he in 2009?
I don't know, but that's a movie that everybody, they made 3 of them, dude.
True. Also, just like Mike Tyson's name, like the sound of his voice.
That's what I'm saying. But like, maybe you don't know him because you're not a boxing fan. You don't grow up with him, but like, whatever. But you've seen The Hangover.
God, that was such a funny segment. And then I went down the rabbit hole of like, we went from Scibelli to Trevor to EJ. Like, EJ was like Haley's Comet. It came around once every 88 years. And then obviously Twerks with Wolves, which, Aaron, if you still listen to the show, I sent you a wedding gift.
Wow. It's amazing.
With a little funny note.
Twerks has been golfing. Twerks, if you listen to the show, I saw he posted I think in the Mean Girls chat that he was golfing like the closest course to me. Like, Twerks, let's go golfing. Smash the Miller Lights.
What do you think Trevor's up to these days?
I mean, probably was working on the ESPYs last night.
Dude, have you ever said this on air? I think we have.
Yeah. Trevor left us to work for ESPN.
He straight up lied to you about that?
I don't know if he lied. Maybe he's worked at ESPN this whole time.
Praino. Come on. Didn't he just straight up lie and make that up?
I have no idea. I mean, it sounds like if he recapped his day by I got up, I ate 8 tacos. I ate 2 full pizzas. I went to my shack in the woods. Then I went to the office at ESPN. I would be like, this does seem suspect. But I don't know for sure. Somebody check Trevor's LinkedIn. Has Trevor been working at ESPN for the last 6 years?
Wow. The dirty sports intern history. You think we're ever going to have another one?
Well, I mean, we'd have like a mobile intern. We're not even in the same place. Listen, I could use an intern.
It'd be pretty funny, dude. Like if we had a mobile one. Or is that it? Like that was a place in dirty sports history. You had 4 interns and there will never be any more. 3.5, 3 1/4. I don't know what was going on there with EJ. Praino was funny, guys, because at the time Praino was like, "Oh, get as many as we can." Like, I was like, "Dude, my apartment is so tiny." Praino
I loved it. Yeah. Look at Pat McAfee's show. He's got 40 guys on here.
Yeah, he's got a full studio.
Yeah.
Praino wanted an intern living in my closet.
You had an intern living in your closet for a while. You had old cheese stick fucking D'Alessandro.
Yeah. I never want to call D'Alessandro an intern. He was getting paid. No offense to you other guys. Look at him now. Working for the Jazz, working for the AAA team out in Utah.
It's great.
Hey, Nick, they hiring? All right. That's what we're gonna do. I don't really
have other calls.
I mean, we got some. Do you want to get to some?
I mean, give us one more call.
Okay.
I thought there were some good ones I saw you had listed.
There's some good ones. Let me. Are you looking at the?
Yeah. Oh, I like the one you've got at number 3. That could be quick and easy. I think it's like a ridiculous question, and then maybe we go with another one after that.
Yeah, let's do number 3.
Hey, Joe and Andy, it's the number 1 dirt baller from South Bend, Indiana, Stephen Dermer calling. So I was having a discussion with some friends over the weekend, kind of a would you rather type situation, but would you rather full pads, NFL pads, take a hit from we'll say Ray Lewis, get hit by him, full force, full pads, everything, so whatever. I mean, you got to take that chance of any injuries you get in that, or would you rather take a full hit with same thing, full NHL pads, but one of the bigger guys in NHL, I can't really name one off the top of my head right now, but take a full hit, full speed, just like anytime you see it on the ice, you always see it and looks hard, but I don't know. I think if I had to choose, I think I'd NFL hit. I mean, it's definitely going to hurt, but those pads are going to take a little bit. And I mean, I don't know. I think either one's going to suck, but
okay. I mean, I'm not going to play the rest of the call. Let's just get through this.
This is a fucking no-brainer for me. I mean, obviously, the big hockey hits you see, they're always like a blind side. They're always a guy getting let's take the everything out of the equation. You know, if it's a blindside hit, it's a blindside for both. If it's a straight up hit, it's a straight up for both. You get put in the boards, you get put out of bounds, whatever. I'm taking that. Do you know the average size of an NHL hockey player is 6'1", 210? That's the size of your.
Is that small?
Yeah. 6'1", 210 is the average size of a hockey player. That's an NFL wide receiver. The average size of a NFL player, 6'2", 245.
Okay, well, let me ask you this though.
I mean, Ray Lewis is 40 pounds bigger. Like,
let me ask you this. What about the being on ice?
What does that matter?
I don't know, because if you're on skates and ice, I don't know. Does that affect it?
Well,
versus solid ground, like you're on grass versus.
No. Here's why.
I'm just asking. I'm just tossing
Here's why.
out there.
You look at hockey. I mean, I'm assuming we're going within like the boundaries of the game. Like Ray Lewis isn't hitting you with an axe, right? So in football, the guy drives you to the ground. You also have Ray Lewis landing on top of you. In hockey, they hit you and you go. They don't wrap and drive you. They're not throw you to the ground. They hit you, you go down. Yeah, you could hit your head on the ground. I mean, we've seen NFL guys sit there. I've hit my head on a football field with a helmet on too. You can get fucked, like, depending on how you hit your head. It's a no-brainer for me. The size, the driving you to the ground. I would take the hockey hit all fucking day.
Yeah, you could also be checked into, I don't know if you're being checked into the boards like
Right.
that.
So I said, those things have give. Listen, I get there's bad hockey hits. Dude, I've been told the story of guys coming out of college, their first hit in NFL preseason, they shit their pants.
Yeah, I don't think
NFL
we
players
realize
are just so much bigger.
how hard these guys hit.
I'm just going size alone. Like, honestly, you can't even make an argument for me the other way.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying, oh, it's a blind head hit. You think you'd rather take a blindside hockey hit than what fucking, one of those blindside across the middle, what's his name did to fucking Antonio Brown, or like
Vontez Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Vontez Perfect is bigger than every person who's ever played hockey in history.
Yeah. All right, take a look. What do you want? 1 through 5. What are you thinking?
You go. You can pick the last one. I think I closed it.
Okay. All right, let's do another quick hitter, because I think number 5 will be a quick hitter for us. It's kind of a no-brainer for me.
What's up, Dirty Sports? I saw a tweet the other day that kind of broke my brain. Would you rather not be able to watch the regular season or the playoffs in any sport ever again? You only get to watch one the rest of your life. What would you choose? All sports. All right, stay dirty.
Okay, so you can only watch regular or postseasons. It's a no-brainer.
Postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Postseason. Think about if you had all the sports. Think about all the sports you can only watch postseason, right? You've got baseball. You've got all of October, right? Now we have football. You've got all of January. It's just a couple months later. And then basketball, you've got the whole summer.
April, May, June. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. Then you're going to go collegiately, March Madness.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could fill in your calendar pretty easily with just postseasons.
You could. And not only that, I was thinking more of the competition.
Of course.
And the intensity and the...
Imagine watching all of a regular season and then just being like, let me know what happens. You watch 162 Mets games and then you're like,
I'll be honest.
Did they win it all?
Who's saying regular season in this? Like who's on that train?
I don't know. Reds fans.
Oh, man, you really had to do that? You really had to go there?
New York Giants fans.
I'm trying to find this tweet. Anyway, anybody who says that, come on, fix your life. All right, 310-359-8365. That's a hotline. We got some other good calls. I'll get to them next week, guys. Thanks for leaving the call on the hotline. Follow us on social at The Dirty Sports. You can follow me at Andy Ruther. And Joe has tons of social you can follow.
Well, you can follow me at Joe Praino on all things social media, except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life. Go to joepraino.com for shows. I've got a bunch of shows in and around in Southern California, but the one I want to get out right now for those of you in Southern California is August 25th at the Hollywood Improv Lab. It's Joe Praino and friends, essentially. Can be doing a longer set. So if you're in the Los Angeles area, if you're in the surrounding area, if you're one of those dirtballs who's come to shows from Riverside or East LA or San Diego or wherever, come out to that one. It's going to be a great night. August 25th. at the Hollywood Improv Lab. And then also I'll be right after that, I'll be in Vegas. If you're down in the Vegas area, August 29th to September 4th at the Comedy Cellar in Las
Dude, I
Vegas.
had a dream. I was back in Vegas last night.
Wow. Well,
I had a
feel free to visit at the end of August.
It's crazy. So I had a dream. No, I got to tell you the dream real quick and we'll wrap this up. So this was the premise of the dream. I was going on like I showed up at the baseball field. The guy where I taught my 1 year there, who was one of my good friends, he was the assistant principal. So he was the disciplinarian. And I showed up and I haven't seen him in years. To be honest, I haven't talked to him in years. And he basically said to me, "Hey man, we want to bring you back." And I was like, "Really?" And he goes, "But you're going to be the activities coordinator." I go, "Well, what's that?" He goes, "Basically a gym teacher. We call it activities coordinator now." I go, "So, dude, I don't have to teach English." He goes, "No, man, I'm the principal now. I want to hire you as the activities coordinator." And I said, "But here's the caveat. Can I still do dirty sports?" This was all in the dream. He goes, "Yeah, you can still do dirty sports." I was like, "It's not going to be a conflict of interest. And if I say something inappropriate," he's like, "No, it's cool, man." He's like, you can have double pay now because you're going to have that pay and then this pay." And I was like, "That's really cool." And in my dream, I was stoked. I was like, going to Vegas. And then I woke up and I told my girlfriend, I was like, "I know we're supposed to buy a house this week, but we might have to buy one in Vegas."
And what did you say to that?
She said, "I've never been." She's actually never been.
Wow. Well, come out August 29th to September 4th.
Maybe I'll be a teacher.
Yeah. Yo, teacher.
Yo, fool.
Now that's a burrito. That's a burrito joke Rob Delaney should have done.
Oh my God. Praino's all-time favorite Andy Ruther joke.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, guys, enjoy your weekend. And for real, I might be a homeowner. Fingers crossed as of tomorrow. I always get worried.
No homeowner.
That joke there is better than anything Rob Delaney has ever said on Twitter or during his stand-up. All right, that is our show. Thanks, as always. You guys have a great weekend. And don't forget,